So another quick tack on to the video that I just made, a little bit more about what I'm talking about when it comes to ladies, wives of police officers and FBI agents and judges and detectives, and how if they are not spending their free time trying to solve cases, looking into injustices, trying to shut things down, then how that means that they are not dedicated and they got into this profession for the wrong reasons. I just came off of a 5-day stint. So a 5-day run, working every day the last 5 days, 8-hour shifts, more than 8-hour shifts, and hauling huge, heavy stuff, hauling lumber, hauling flooring, getting it loaded into the back of trucks. I mean, hauling things that the guys I work with don't want to haul. Okay? I'm exhausted. I came home today. So I clocked out. I came home. I took care of a few things I needed to take care of, fed my cats. I laid down, took a bit of a nap to refresh myself. I woke up and I started doing this. Okay? I started making the video that I made previous to this one. That's dedication. All right? I spent time with my cats and so on and so forth. They're my family right now. But my free time, I'm not sitting here watching television. I'm thinking of other ways that I can get a bunch of child abusers exposed and caught and thrown into prison. And I'm working towards that. That's called dedication. And the reason I have the picture up of this man, for those of you who don't recognize him, this is a scene from that movie, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the 2011 version. And this is Detective Morrell. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, he's a character in that movie, and he talks about his Rebecca case. He talks about this case of a girl he found who had been assaulted and murdered, sexually assaulted and murdered, and how he never solved it. And it always weighed on him, and he would take it home with him. He would think about it all the time. He would work on it in his after hours. He talks about it's the soul of a detective. Okay? It's somebody who really genuinely hates to see injustice and hates to see violations of human rights and hates to see people who devour and hurt innocents. And we are dedicated to shutting it down and getting justice for victims and bringing justice where we see injustice. Dedicated. We eat, sleep, and breathe it. It is not just a paycheck for us. So again, if your husband, ladies, is a police officer, I'm thinking specifically of the Lower Township, New Jersey police right now. But anywhere, if your husband is a police officer and he clocks out and comes home and sits around watching television or playing with his train set or some stupid nonsense like that, I understand needing a little time to decompress. But if he spends his whole evening jerking off, so to speak, then he got into his profession for the wrong reasons, likely for power and because it inflates his ego. And I would be wary of being married to someone like that. Your husband should give a shit about this stuff that I'm talking about. He should be looking closer. If he has any gut instincts, a detective's gut instincts, then he should be watching the videos that I'm putting out and going, okay, yeah, there's too much here connecting these people to ignore. His gut should be going off, should be going, rah, 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 rah. Yeah, she's right. There are connections here that are not coincidences. Anyone with good gut instinct will piece that together with what I've provided thus far. And then that will spark that need to dig deeper. That's what every true detective has in them. The gut instinct that goes, something's wrong here, and alarm bells go off, and then This need, it is a need. I must dig deeper. I must get to the bottom of this. What is going on here? Because I smell a rat. That is what's deep. That's what fuels a detective or anybody who's in law enforcement. That's why they should be getting into law enforcement. If that's not why, any other reason to get into law enforcement is a horrible, evil, awful reason. Whether it's because it's a steady paycheck or, again, most likely because they get to strap on a second dick and it makes them feel powerful and they get sway and control over others and they get to throw their weight around and they know that it stops people's hearts whenever they like pull up their squad car behind somebody or something like that, and that makes their dicks hard. That is the wrong reason to get into law enforcement. And again, if you're married to that, run away. Start planning your exit strategy now. I promise you, you will be thankful for it in the long run. I know it might seem like, oh my gosh, but we have a house and children and all that. You're going to wish you didn't have those ties to them soon, eventually. Start figuring out how to get the children away from them. Start saving up for your own house, so on and so forth. Figure it out. Get away from that person. If they're in law enforcement and they don't have the things that I just described, the detective's urge, the spark that drives us, and the gut instinct. If he doesn't have that, he got into his profession for the wrong frickin' reasons. And he's that much more dangerous to you if he's an abusive partner or will be an abusive partner, probably. If he needs to get into being a law enforcement officer in order to inflate his ego, he's probably not a good partner or won't be eventually. Eventually that mask will drop and you'll see what you're really married to. It'll be that much harder dealing with him if he is in law enforcement. So again, I suggest, ladies, you start planning your exit strategy now. Start testing him first, if you're brave enough to do so. Like, just pay attention. Is he dedicated enough that does he sit down and like spend more of his free time, even outside of work, trying to stop bad things from happening, trying to stop bad people? Because then he's in the right profession. Or does he sit around and jerk off, watch television, and eat chips and donuts? Or whatever. Or does he bottle his own beer or whatever? Does he fix up the car? Maybe he should have been a mechanic. You know what you understand? He's not in the right profession. Especially, and really should not be in it because of the gravity of that, like the sway and the power that profession holds. Only the people who really are the true detectives should have that badge and that gun. Any other reason to get into that profession is a false reason and a dangerous reason and an egotistical reason. And if I were you, I would absolutely avoid being married to that person. So test them. Be brave, honeys. Test him. If he doesn't pass the test, and all you have to do for this test is observe him. If he doesn't pass the test, exit. Exit strategy now. Get your kids out of there too. It'll be in their best interest in the long run. Anyway, yeah, I'll go watch this movie. It's an excellent movie. And I really liked the scenes with Detective Morell. I was like, damn, man, you're right. Rebecca Case, you're right. It's the spirit of a detective. You just absolutely, like, you eat, sleep, and breathe it. You have to make yourself put aside time for family and stuff because, like, it's healthy for you and it's good for your family, but you are just, especially when it comes to like the well-being of a child, an innocent or something like that, you can't stop thinking about how to get justice for that person. You just can't stop thinking about it. That's the soul and the heart of a detective. You must solve it. You must figure it out. You must get them justice. You must do it. You must. And if you don't have that fueling you, you are a shame to the badge and the gun. Like, they should take those away from you. Good night, Lower Township pigs.